If there is an exposure to non-IgE food allergy, we always see blood and stool. It's so hard to determine if my son is cranky due to another allergen or if it's teething or something else. Oh, that's a good question. Okay, so the short answer to your question is no. Not every kiddo who has food reactivity will get blood and stool. And each person's sensitivity to different foods are going to be different based on the food, actually. And so it's very possible for one kiddo to have blood and stool to dairy, but never get blood and stool to soy. Maybe they have mucus in stool, or they have diarrhea or constipation. And then it may be that they have eczema to egg, but no blood and stool. And they could have vomiting to oats, but no blood and stool. And this could all be the same person. That's where it can be a little bit confusing. Now, when we get into secondary symptoms, so I think this is a good point for me to talk about primary symptoms and secondary symptoms. A primary symptom is like what the food allergy trigger is causing. And so an example of that is vomiting, reflux, blood and stool, diarrhea, constipation, mucousy stool, eczema. A secondary symptom is cranky because I don't feel good, right? Or sleep disturbances or weight gain issues, or feeding refusals. It's a really good example of a secondary symptom. The primary symptom causing these other issues like baby is uncomfortable. In this particular case then, the reason why it's important to know the difference is that typically when we're having a food reactive issue, our kiddo will not have only a secondary symptom without a primary symptom too. So for your kiddo, then it may be that you have to lean on cranky by itself, not going to consider that a fail. But cranky plus diarrhea, I'm going to consider that a fail. Or cranky plus excessive mucus in stool, blood in stool, vomiting, any of the other primary symptoms that I mentioned, that being more of a red flag for a fail. Because kids are they're so confusing, and they cry and they spit up and they eat rocks and it's just all the things. It can be helpful then to differentiate and be like, okay, if cranky, then here's like the laundry list of things we could be navigating. So I'm also going to say that for a pass or a fail, or whether or not I'm needing to cut more things, I'm going to really lean hard on, is there a primary symptom that I'm seeing? And it may not be blood and stool, because blood and stool is a pretty significant reaction. It might be excessive mucus in stool. It might be diarrhea. It might be constipation. I'm going to say, okay, for my kiddo, I'm not going to lean on crankiness. I'm not going to lean on that by itself. I'm going to lean on, what am I seeing? What's the actual stool look like? Is there impact of the stool or any of the other symptoms? How's the skin? How's the upper GI? And how's the stool look? And what's the frequency? And so I'm focused on things that are more measurable and things that I can really hang my hat on, versus these things can be impacted by a gajillion factors and is less likely to be food if it's all by itself.